Hello and welcome to the LVF1 Tuscan Grand Prix. I'm your host Andrew Gatton and I'm here today with Charles Godet. How are you getting on, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. And you?
Yeah, I am doing perfectly fine. A little bit tired, but there's always a bright end to the stick, and you would say that much. So we are at Mugello. It is going to be around about 30 laps on race length. We are a 3.2-mile circuit here, very, very tight, and also some really good spots for overtaking here in the Tuscan area of Italy. The fantastic thing about this track is these drivers won't be feeling the G-forces that the real-life drivers felt, which really hurt their necks. But I'm sure all the drivers are going to have sore wrists from the amount of force that they're going to have driving around these corners at around about 150 kilometers an hour sometimes. So it'll be a really good race. So, as we see here, we are on the Tuscan GP track. It is Mugello, as we said already. We are allowed tires of the soft C1, C2, C3, and C4, intermediate, and wet. So there's only one DRS zone around the track. We're going around some really, really tight corners. This is the first race at Mugello in LVF1 history. So we're back here again. Let's have a look and see if we can see who's all on the grid so far. I do believe we're still in practice, are we? Or have we moved to quali?
We are indeed still in practice. I will just tell Danny to move.
That would be a good idea so that we can get the quali underway as soon as possible. I'm pretty sure all the drivers that are taking part today are in the lobby and ready to go. See one of the Red Bulls taking the S's section of the track. Can't wait to see how we're all gonna see the driving today. So we're actually on board with Asite now, who is doing pretty well around Mugello. I haven't seen him go off yet, and he's managing to stick to his line very well. So I'm assuming he's done a lot of practice around here. We're going to be looking at around about lap times between the 112 and 115 second minute mark here. There's a few drivers that are sitting off pace by a considerable margin, but you've got to remember this is the great thing about Mugello is a lot of the drivers here haven't raced this before, so it'll be a bit of a challenge to see the drivers nail this track for the first time. We've got a yellow in sector 2. I do believe one of the drivers has had a little bit of a spin out. Obviously lost the back end going through one of the corners. I'm on board with one of the Mercedes now.
Williams not using DRS. Don't know why that would be.
Wonder if he was just waiting for the Mercedes to go past him. That would be questionable.
And here we go into quali, I think. Unless my game's crashed. Could be either, really, with RF2.
It's RF2. You've just got to... You got to deal with what it gives you.
It's not a bug, it's a feature. Yeah, here we go.
Sorry about that. Just got a little bit of typing to go. It's the great thing about having a mechanical keyboard. When you start typing, everybody can hear you from 10 miles away. So we have started what is considered the qualifying session.
And don't forget, we have Q1 and Q2 today, because we have 16 drivers.
Yeah, so we're going to see quite a few drivers now coming out of the pits to get their first laps in.
Let's see if we can find who's at the head of the train. Leave. It's Willie 31. No. Is it compares the speed?
Yeah, the one thing that we would probably like to see is the actual drivers. Yeah, there we go. We can see Kabiza's speed now running on his out lap. Coming through the middle sector now. He's a little bit wider than what would be considered a desirable line, but he's managed to come through sector 3 perfectly fine, and he is going to get onto his first lap. So if we stay on board roughly with Kabiza now as he comes through the first corner, a little bit wide for T1, sliding the car. Yep, he's lost the back end there, it's gone loose. Interesting to see if he manages to maintain the speed though. Oh, he's just really struggling when he hits those curbs. I wonder if that could be just him putting too much power on the car.
He's going to encounter some traffic here. Looks like that's either an AlphaTauri or a Williams. He's going to sensibly move out of the way.
It's an AlphaTauri. That's very well done and good positioning of the car by the AlphaTauri to stay out of the way. It's something I'm always so keen about is commenting on drivers letting other people pass. It's so easy on games to not give a crap about the drivers who are on the other lines. So to see that, I think it's very well. As we see, he's a 1:18.4. That's not necessarily the fastest time we'll see, but that he definitely lost a lot of time in sector 1. But yeah, as you see, he actually lost it a little bit going through there again and decided to reset to the pit. Quite a few of the drivers here are going to be just about to set their first lap times. So it'll be, again, interesting to see, as we are in Q1, where everybody sits. And there we go. Asite managed to post a 1:17.1. Again, we should be looking for the desirable time, so when the track starts to fully set itself in of around about 1:13 to 1:15s in that region. But yellow in sector 1 as one of the drivers goes off. I do believe that was Miguel. The driver at risk at the moment is Maret and Jeff. They're both in a position where if they don't get a lap time in within the next 10 minutes, they are going to be shoved into the back of the grid. A few of the drivers now setting 1:17s. So obviously the track is not ready for fast driving yet. Mugen in the Williams. Cutting his way through the end of Sector 2 into Sector 3. Coming into the tight right-hander now. Can he keep his foot in it? Yes, he can. Very nicely done from him. A little bit lost on his line there. If he put a little bit more power down, he could have hit that rumble strip and then crossed over to the track. It's the faster line there. He would have set himself up perfectly fine to come through onto that corner, the final corner of the track, and he is going to come through on a 1:18.5. So a few of the drivers sitting in the 1:17, 1:18s at the moment. It's quite interesting to see that, as we know that these drivers are capable of going a lot faster. 1:16 is now where we're sitting. As we see, a few drivers have managed to look at the lower 1:17, 1:16s.
Very interesting line on the exit there.
Yeah, he was a little bit wide, a little bit loose coming through there in the Haas. I'm assuming he just lost a bit of downforce there, coming across his line. The interesting thing about these F1 cars is the Venturi tunnels that run on the lower parts of the car, whether it be on the floor or in the just above the floor, kind of on the top half. They are very dependent, and if you're driving in a straight line or around a bend, it is dependent. They only do their job once, what they say. Good qualifying actually yesterday in the real Formula 1 for Max Verstappen, with damage to what was only could be considered to the rear end of his car, or the underfloor, after he hit a bump coming through Sector 2, and he still managed to put the car on pole. The Red Bull being very competitive this year compared to the Mercedes, as the Mercedes loses a ton of downforce, it seems, from the floor being cut apart for this year's regulations.
P. Rodriguez C is 0.2 up on the pole time.
But that's in
the first sector, and now 0.2 in the middle sector, so he's now 0.4 up.
He's definitely going a lot faster, as Aceit is actually managed to put himself on pole for the position at the moment. Only the top 4 drivers within a second of each other. The rest are a little bit slower. But obviously this is only Q1, so only 2 drivers are going to go out.
Ivan goes fastest, and then P. Rodriguez C goes faster again by half a second.
That was really well, and we start to see the track starting to warm up now, as we're now jumping into the late 1:15s on today's session. Hopefully when we go into the next session, the track temperature doesn't kill itself. We're on board with the racing port of Moret, who's managed to get a time of around about a 1:17 in. Everyone's looking to beat 1:15 now on the track. Willie 31 and Baroni David haven't set a lap time yet, even though they're out on the track, so they must be just having a hell of a fight with their car around this circuit. And we've got yellow in Sector 1. Still 3 drivers to set a time here. 5 minutes 40 to go on the session. Baroni David manages to set a time. He's up in 8th position at the moment. 1.6 off pace. Danny and Willie 31 still need to set a time here in Tuscan. Tuscany is such a beautiful area. You can see the hills around here. Absolutely fantastic. We actually see Royland has actually joined the session. 5 minutes to set a time. Whether he's going to get that or not is completely down to if he can get his car on the grid now. Willie 31 still not to set a time. So's Danny. I wonder if they're on their out laps, or they're just struggling with track limits. If we could maybe jump on board with Danny and see where he's going wrong. And here we are. He's trying to qualify on hards, which is not desirable for this track. Because of the tight corners, the car is just not going to be able to stick to the ground the same.
Tyre wear here at this track is very, very hard.
Yes. But
So
they would
actually-
assume that for Q1 and Q2 that they would be using softs or mediums at least to get faster times. As we see, this actually definitely affected Danny there. He's 3 seconds off the pace there on a 1:19.4. And yes, given he did get caught in a bit of traffic there, but it would assume that the hard tyre isn't the choice for qualifying on this track.
Unless you're totally ignoring qualifying and just going for race pace, because starting the race on the hard tyre might not actually be that bad of a call, as Danny goes
And he goes
very off
wide.
track there.
But it does seem like he is going to be coming out in this part of the session. Oh, Willie31 has managed to make himself safe.
Ivan is 0.1 of a second up on pole time in the first sector, but then loses a couple of hundredths in the middle sector. What can you do in the final one?
Rodriguez is a bit of a battle here for first at the moment, coming through into Q2. Rodriguez still managing to maintain his pole position at this moment in time, but it's Ivan, purple in first sector, slower through middle. He's managed to drop himself into P2 in that Alpha Tauri. So only 2 minutes 40 left of quali, so a few of the drivers now that'll be wanting to set their fastest laps are probably on their out laps now. He could be the speed's 5th at the moment. They're definitely all safe, so it would only be safe to assume that they're starting to look at maybe jumping in to do a bit of race pace running, or just to get faster. Roland is still hasn't managed to set a lap, so it would be safe to assume that he could be ready to set his lap in the other half any minute now. Zamunkasi coming through the last corner. He's PB'd in both Sector 1 and Sector 2, but will it be enough to increase his time? He still is 16th, he's not managed to push his time any faster there. And he is on the soft tyres as well. And Roland still hasn't managed to set a time yet. But it does look like the drivers that are going to be going out so far, we've got 1 minute 20 left to go. It's Zamunkasi in 16th, Danny in 17th, and Roland in 18th. Roland is 117, so he's managed to pull himself out. Is now Willie31 is a driver at risk here at the Tuscan Grand Prix. Jeff is coming around the last corner now. Can he manage to get himself away from where he was? He might manage it here. Just. He is now in 10th position. As Jose46 is the driver at risk. 30 seconds to go now. A lot of the drivers will be wanting to get their last laps in now. Off-track in the Ferrari. Very nicely done through there. He's sitting 4th at the moment. He went purple in Sector 1. Going very nicely on those medium tyres. We've seen all the fastest laps seem to be posted on the mediums here. They must be just of the perfect grip level for you to have that extra little bit of slide through the corners. A little bit wide. Coming through Sector 3 there. Coming through the S's now. Again, nicely done. He's now fastest in Sector 2 as well. Can he manage to put himself on pole so far? Here, provisional pole for the Tuscan Grand Prix. Oh, and he's just off it. He managed to slow down a tiny bit there at the end. I think it was the fact that he had a little bit of oversteer stepping out on the last corner that cost it for him, but he is third fastest. Danny's still out on the hard tyres. He's still a strong believer in those hards. And he's not managed to go much faster from him. It'd be interesting to find out what his strategy really was at the end there. At the end of the race, to see why he decided to choose hard tyres for quali rather than the mediums. And that is the end of Q1, as we'll be loading in to go into Q2 any moment now. Welcome everybody to the LVF1 Tuscan Grand Prix here. We are coming into the Q2 session. We're here at Mugello. Who doesn't love Mugello? Really tight corners, long, fast right-handers and left-handers here. RF2 is such a good game for the simulation of the cars and stuff like that, and the racing is awesome here. Don't you think, Charles?
Yep. Danny's just messaging me.
It's alright, we'll find out. Again, interesting to find out strategy for the hards. If any of you guys that are watching now would like to take part in future races here, we still have 2 spots on the grid to take part in the Formula 1 Championship, the Liga Virtual F1. You can join via our Discord link, which should be in our Discord. It should be in our Twitch description. So if you would like to join the Discord, and yeah, you can definitely message Danny that you would like to take part, and we can have you on the grid for not next week because it's Easter, but for the weekend after that. And also for every driver and anybody that's in the chat, if you would like to stick around for 15 minutes after the race, we have a post-race show today, at which we'll have interviews with drivers, and we'll also talk about the key elements of the race today. As now we see a lot of the drivers starting to dive out of the pits now for the start of the Q2 session.
Apologies for this, but we are going to have to go to a quick ad break just at the start of Q3 because RF2 being RF2, we need to leave and rejoin the server to update the drivers because for some reason not all of them are showing up. So we'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back to the Tuscan Grand Prix here for the Liga Virtual F1 Tuscany Grand Prix here at Mugello. We're on Q2 at the moment, as a few drivers obviously got kicked out during the last session. We had 3 drivers that are no longer going to be part of the racing, part of the driving just now, and that is Roland, Zamunski, and Danny. Unfortunately, didn't manage to make it through into Q2. But right now, the drivers are now setting 1:15.2s. Ivan's setting a 1:15.2.13. Very, very nice driving from him. 0.017 between him and Asite. Jose managing 0.3 off the pace there. Ostrak 0.063 off the pace. So a big battle for pole position, provisional pole at the moment. Miguel Angel running 7th position at the moment, 6 seconds off the pace. He's trying to start looking at the hard tyres as well. A few of the drivers dabbling in the hard tyres to start off with during these races. There must be a strategy. P. Rodriguez finally down into the 114s, a 114.943 there. He's 0.27 up on the previous leaders.
As we've now had Carlos Fenno join the session. So we're up to 19 drivers. Carlos Fenno, because he just joined about halfway through Q3, will start from the back of the grid in 19.
It's very unfortunate for him because we know he's one of the faster drivers, considering his showing at Spa. Rodriguez still top of the timing here. Miguel Angel 122.580. He is running hard, so maybe he's just assuming that he can't go faster than the rest of the guys here. So he's just decided that hard tyres is best for him to just practice on. Moretti, he's running to get his first lap in the other pink racing point. Oh, and he spins. He loses it through Sector 2. He's lost his rear wing there. It's very unfortunate for him. As long as he doesn't go back on the track there. Yes, he's fine. P. Rodriguez is now back out on a flying lap. Very good connection for these corners from him. He's got it all looked together in this car. Still about 5 to 6 drivers now to set a time. Obviously we saw Moretti, he spun out.
As Ivan goes fastest by 8/100ths of a second.
Well, there isn't going to be too much as actually Rodriguez has managed to go purple in Sector 1. He made a little bit of mess of Sector 2, but if he can nail Sector 3 like he has been, very nice through there. And yeah, he's realised he's not going faster, so he's jamming at the pit. 3 minutes to go left of Q2 here, and we still have a few drivers to actually set a time. Unless this is they've decided to make this Q3 instantly, have they? I'm not seeing these drivers allowed actually out of the pits.
I'm not
sure. So we just jumped straight into Q3, it looks like. As Willie for it. Yeah, it does look like they've just decided to not let them go. We just went straight to Q3. Would have been interesting to know that. But yeah, so we actually are fighting for pole position at the moment. 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes 30 to go in the session now. Ivan is still in the lead. Rodriguez will not be letting him have that though. He'll be fighting him on it. Gerazi and the other Ferrari. A little bit wide through there, but he's held it. Kept his foot in it, which is the important thing. Well, that's a good line through there. Moretti setting a flying lap at the moment. He set a personal best for Sector 1 and he stopped, which is not necessarily the best, but Rodriguez now on a flying lap. He'll be wanting to push to get the faster laps out of this.
And I can confirm that this is Q3 for the top 10 drivers only.
P. Rodriguez, sector 1 fastest again. He's messed up sector 2. Not by much though. Can he still loop it together? That was a very good line there. Into sector 3. Coming around the last corner. It's very nice. Dipping the toe right on there. Very nicely done from Rodriguez. Is it enough to take pole position here? And it is just by 0.047. He manages to steal it off Ivan. Fantastic racing. Asite running in third at the moment. Offspreck not managing to make too much of a difference on him. But it'll be interesting again to see where we end up with all of that. Asite, nice drive in there from him. Very nicely done. Oh, a little bit wide through there. Coming into sector 2 now. He is still up on his personal best, which could be interesting. He might be able to overtake Ivan here if he manages to nail sector 2. And he's decided not for him. But Offsprack still has a chance. He's a little bit down in sector 2 again. We might be able to see something go very well here for him. And he's decided to jump to the pits as soon as I speak. Moret is the only one out on track, and he manages to go 9th as he overtakes Miguel Angel. So, quick roundup. P. Rodriguez in pole position, Ivan in second. In third, we see Asite, who was going to be sitting in third position. So that is your top 3 so far. And here we are. Here's the full session results. Obviously, we already said the top 3. In fourth, we see Offsprack, who's starting on the second row of the grid here at Toscana. In fifth, we see Jose in the other Alpha Tauri and Gerazi alongside him in sixth. Cabaza Speed in the Alfa Romeo and Willie 31 in the McLaren in eighth there. Barrett in the Racing Point in ninth, and Miguel Angel, his teammate, sitting alongside him on the middle rows of the grid. In 11th, we see Baroni David in the other Alfa Romeo. In 12th, we see Mugen in the Williams. In 13th, we see Moses Carvalho in the Renault. In 14th, we see Jeff in the other Williams. In 15th, we see Jose in the second Mercedes. In 15th. In 16th, we see Michael Rowland in one of the Haas's. In 17th, we see Zamunski in P17 in the Haas. In 18th, we see Danny in the McLaren. And in 19th, we see Carlos Fenno in the Red Bull. And that rounds up today's qualifying for the race that will be happening in just a few minutes' time here at the Tuscan Grand Prix in the Mugello track. think we're going to see some really close battles here. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a little bit of contact around Sector 2 as drivers are fighting for position. Again, interesting to see what's going to happen. So we're just about to take a quick ad break, and we'll see you in a few minutes. And welcome back to the 2020 Tuscan GP here with the LVF1 crew. Again, I'm your host, Andrew Gatton. We're lining up for the race here, and I've got Charles on the cams with me today. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, thank you. Very excited for this race.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. You see Rodriguez lining up on the pole there. A seat day just behind him. Ivan just to the left of him. He's going to be eyeing up that turn 1. Obviously, pole position's got such a good run on to turn 1 here on the inside line. All he needs to do is sit in the middle of the track, and he's got perfect line going into turn 1. So we're just waiting for all the drivers to jump onto the grid.
Just 2 or 3 left, I think. Oh, what's happened there? There we go.
There's one more to jump on, and there we are. He is in the grid.
Yep, everyone's on the grid. And here we go for the formation lap.
So again, this is going to be interesting to see how these guys warm their tires up around this track. Generally, just driving it, if they wanted to drive it at full speed, they could warm their tires up in 1 lap and get it over with. So we see lineup for today. P. Rodriguez sitting in pole position. Ivan just next to him there. And then we've got a Cite in 3rd and Osprak sitting in 4th position on the 2nd row of the grid. And then the 3rd row, we see Jose and Gerazi. And then we've got Cabaza Speed and Willie 31 sitting in 7th and 8th. We then have Moret in the Racing Points. The 2 Racing Points actually sitting in the middle row of the grid, 9th and 10th of Miguel Angel. In 13th, we have Moises Carvalho and Jeff Williams in 13th and 14th. Jose in 15th in the Mercedes, and Michael Rowland in 16th. Zamunski takes it into 17th, and Danny in 18th, and Carlos Fino in 19th. Unfortunately, not managing to settle up today. But we can definitely expect him to dive up the order in that Red Bull. He's a very fast guy. And that concludes the LVF1 lineup for the race today at the Tuscan Grand Prix here in Mugello. And we see now the Mercedes just slowing down, going through into Sector 3. Starting to bunch up the pack as he's going to get all the cars ready to go onto their grid positions. So we see what a fitting end to this lap, as we actually just realised that P. Rodriguez is actually in Lewis Hamilton's car as well. This is going to be an excellent race, I think, for everybody to watch and for us to watch here in the comms box.
Hopefully we have more drivers finish the race than the real life Mugello race last year.
Yeah, hopefully, and not have them pile up here on a restart. That's all the cars setting themselves up on their grid spots now. It's going to be an excellent race. I can just feel it, the tension building up as the cars have lined up on the grid now. It's a shame that we're not coming back to Mugello for this year. But Imola was still a very good track, so hopefully we can see some more Italian GP action as it's lights out. And away we go, and the Mercedes actually has a slower start there than Ivan. Ivan actually taking the run down onto turn 1 here. Can Rodriguez set it on the inside? Nearly, it's very close there. A little bit of contact at the back of the grid. I think it was a Ferrari. You got yellow in sector 1. I think somebody spun round. Yes, and it's one of the Williams has taken to the gravel trap there at the end of T1. It's Mugen. He's going to definitely be trying to push back up the order. Rodriguez is still all over the back of Ivan here. Oh, big contact. Big contact as Carlos Fino makes contact with one of the cars there. I think it was the Haas, Michael Rowland, and Danny going off the track. P. Rodriguez is still 0.5 down on Ivan. Acete's managed to drop back a little bit, but Jose's up in 11th position. Made a few positions up here. Off-track actually losing a few positions there, down in 19th. 9th, sorry. Cabeza speeds up in 4th at the moment. Jose jumping into 5th as well, as I think the Ferrari's definitely made a little bit of contact on the start of the race there. Jose looking to try and get on the inside of Osprak there, but it wasn't happening. Oh, sorry, Gerazi. Willie 31 under a little bit of pressure here. Not too much. Osprak is just all over his rear wing though. Roland actually goes into the pit lane, which is 25-second stop. Carlos Fino is actually DNF'd here. He jumps into the race late and doesn't actually finish it, so that's a shame for him. Jeff back fighting in 10th position at the moment, as we know that Osprak has got past Willie 31 now. Oh, and we've got contact, I think, on the outside. Jose just a little bit wide coming in there. He tapped the back end of Jeff coming into turn 3. P. Rodriguez actually setting fastest lap of 120.1 as we're already on lap 3 here at Mugello. Rodriguez is right all over the back of Ivan there.
He made a mistake, went too wide in the gravel, and now the Red Bull's going to be all over the back of him here.
Definitely, I think it's going to be a run. It's going to be these three drivers for the whole race that are battling for the lead here in Mugello. You can see the perfectly grooved line formed of all of the rubber. You go off that line now, it's just going to be really messy for you. You're going to lose a lot of speed. P. Rodriguez still kind of fighting to get back on Ivan. Cabaza's speed, as we see there, he is in 4th position. He's not going to be gaining too much more at the moment, as the three at the front are just fighting away to get faster and faster. Osprak now in 8th position, obviously. He had a little bit of a battle with Willie 31. Willie went wide during sector 2 and lost a bunch of positions there. Jose and Jeff both gaining very respectful positions here. And Baroni is going to make a move down the outside on Willie 31. Willie 31 just losing time here. And Moses Carvalho comes down on the inside line as well. Very nice driving from him. He's decided that he was going to take position there as well, down on the DRS zone. Baroni David running in 12th position still. He is chasing down Moises. coming through the middle of Sector 2 now. 0.7 away from Moises now. Moises is just getting away from him. And Renault just seems to be a little bit faster on pace at the moment. So all the drivers will be looking to make a one-stop here if they can to get fresh tyres. Royland's already had to make a stop as he had damage to his car. Only David now is storming away from the cars that were battling behind him. Jose kind of having a little bit of a battle there with Jeff. Oh, and the car goes wide and takes out the Mercedes of Jose 46. That is going to be looked at after the race. It does seem like a little bit of a racing incident. And that was very unfortunate as Moret takes out Jose 46. Jose is going to be a little bit upset about that. He was making some good positions there. And Moret still manages to stay out in front of him after that. So that could be, if he manages to stay ahead, that could be heated argument. I think Zamunski has got damage to his car as he's ended up going off into the barriers there. A light tap. Oh, and he's almost rejoined where Danny in 16th was, which could have been a little bit catastrophic. P. Rodriguez still setting fastest laps. He's managed to get past Ivan now for the lead. As
Perfect
Royland
timing
there. DNF as well. So Royland and Fino unfortunately not managing to finish the race, and we're only 6 laps in here. Ivan got a really good run on through turn 1 and turn 2 there, but just managed to scrub a little bit of his tyres. Gone a little bit wide through into sector 2. Moret's managed to make a couple of places back up as Willie 31 goes wide. We're going to see a few more mistakes like these happen throughout the race as drivers start to get tired with their arms. The pressure that this track has on you, the constant concentration you have to be able to stay on the ball all the time is something of an art form. I remember taking part in a 12-hour race here during the Forza 7 days when there was a lot of endurance racing going on there, and I was driving in an LMP2 car. It wasn't LMP2, sorry, it was a GT car. I was thinking about entering as an LMP. Never really did it, but got 6th position in the race along with one of my friends, and it was good fun. But the time that it took on your body, and the toll it took, it really hurt the next morning. I will say that much. Jeff coming down the inside there of Moret, very well placed there from the Williams driver, and he's covering off the outside lines very nicely there as Moret has nowhere to go to come back from that position. So Jeff now up into 11th. Miguel Angel making headway. He was about to go round there through into sector 2, but that fast section of the track is not where you want to be. Trying to overtake, especially coming into that dip there. You lose downforce a little bit coming down that part. We actually saw George Russell go wide there last year during a flying lap, and still managed. He just kept the power full on and managed to recover the car perfectly fine, like it was just a normal racetrack. Asite looking to try and make a run on Ivan here. Just not enough speed there at the moment. A little bit of a close battle here for the lead. But it has started to fade out as P. Rodriguez is starting to really find his rhythm around the track, and show the other two what's boss. Shirazi is actually looking to overtake his teammate Offsprack. He was a little bit closer, but had to slow down for Sector 2 for his line. Obviously doesn't have the same confidence through there as some of the other drivers. Baroni David running in 9th position at the moment in the Alfa Romeo. Miguel Angel just behind him. It's going to be a close battle, I think. Jeff and Mugen are both at a position now where both Williams are at the back of the grid. Willie 31, Jeff managing to make up some places. I think one of the drivers had a pit stop. Baroni David actually having a little bit of an on-track battle there through the start-finish straight. Miguel Angel going round the outside here, but it's not going to be enough. Baroni David takes the position back. Miguel trying to do a little bit of a switch on him, but it's not going to happen. You see them come flying through now. And he's going to try and tuck it down the inside. No, he just can't make it there. Unfortunately, he's just all over the back of Baroni now. Miguel definitely has the pace to get past, but he needs to pick his opportunities. Very nicely done from these drivers. Some good work as we see Miguel Angel starting to pace up a little bit again after having slowed down through Sector 2. He is gonna have DRS now. He's right on board with him through the start-finish straight. Very nicely done. He's gonna have full DRS, and you can see the pace he's got behind Baroni. He's gonna go back to the outside as Baroni defends, but it's not gonna be enough as Miguel Angel is up into 8th position now. Very close. Very nice driving actually from both drivers there. Both defensive and offensive driving from both. Offsprack and Gerazi still holding position in those Ferraris. They haven't lost much. Carvalho has stopped now for his pit stop. I'm assuming he had to get some repairs. But Mugen and Jeff and the Williams were both a little bit higher on the grid, so something must have happened to them. Which is a tiny bit unfortunate. I was hoping we could see a little bit more on-track action from the Williams drivers. They know their way around any track, it seems. We always see them in the top 10 at least every week. We have 20 laps remaining now as we're on lap 11 here at the Mugello circuit. Quite interesting to see here is Willie 31's dropped 5 places on the grid, and Jeff's actually gained 2. We saw Jeff a little bit higher, and Mugen's actually lost 2 in position-wise, but we're probably going to see a little bit of a change in where everybody is as people start to dive into the pits, it seems. Jeff is now up into 11th place. Nobody's dove into the pit, so he's actually just made up time here. Very well done from him. I could have sworn I saw a few drivers dive in pits in the end of that last lap, but yeah, Jeff's just really starting to pull out all his stops here to get back into the top 10. It seems he knows how to fettle that Williams around the corners here at Mugello. Jose 46 just holding him up a little bit here. He is going to have DRS down the front straight. He can stay in that slipstream. It's all about where he can drive. He's just not going to get away. But he's not actually had to slow down as much as Jose coming into turn 1. Is he going to have the run down? No. Jose closes the door very aggressively there.
Morete has a penalty.
That could be for that earlier on incident where he took out, where he actually took out Jose 46 at turn 4.
I don't think we have live stewarding though, so that might be track limits or something, or pit lane
could potentially
penalty.
Be. Yeah. Either way, he has managed to pick up a penalty. If he stays in that position at the moment, though, it wouldn't make too much difference. He is running last. Jeff is all over the back of that Mercedes right now. He's wanting to fight. And we start to see drivers starting to dive into the pits. Both Ferraris and Miguel Angel going into the pits here. Could be an early stop for hards. I do believe I'm correct. That is one of the pink Mercedes getting out of the pit lane. Willie 31 diving into the pits as well. Jeff is now past Jose through that front straight on the DRS zone. Jose is now under pressure from Offsprack, who's just come out on fresh tyres. I do believe he is on the hard set. It just shows you the pace of Offsprack, considering he's just come out the pits on what would be considered cold tyres, and he's already up to speed with the other drivers. There's Ivan now in the pits. He's going to take an early stop to see if he can get an undercut. I think I just saw a bit of rubbish fly off of the Ferrari there, as I think he tapped the back of Jose, so a little bit of damage to the front of Offsprack's Ferrari.
Ivan's come into the pits as Jose 46 also comes into the pits. Most of the drivers are starting to get rid of their softer tyres, and they'll be thinking about going to the end on the hard tyres, as the tyre degradation here is quite severe at Mugello. All the fast swooping sections deforms the rubber.
Not only that as well, it's the amount of load that they're putting on the car in general through not only the high speed but the low speed. Because they're coming in at such a considerable force before that, the front tyres are just going to be getting scrubbed to all hell, especially through Sector 3. Because you kind of, the braking for that fast right-hander before you come through into the major part of Sector 3, you come in there and you're already turning while you're braking, pretty much. You actually see here, as you see the scrub that Offsprack is having on those front tyres is full lock pretty much, so those tyres are not going to last a considerable amount of time longer than what you'd want them to be.
The Munkacy also getting a penalty there. Not sure what this is. It could be pit lane or track limits.
It's most likely track now getting past Jeff. As we start to settle into our natural order as the drivers start diving into the pits. Jeff is still yet to pit as well. Jose 46. I'm assuming he did have a pit stop, didn't he? And it's just not showing up on the board, as we did actually see him dive into the pits. So I'm not too sure why that's not showing up on our timing sheet. So we could have actually had a lot of people dive in for pit lanes, and we've just not seen it so far. Nope, still not showing up, but I could have seen something. Yellow in sector 3. As I do believe somebody went off the track. Danny now worked his way up into 15th position.
Sorry, just to cut in there, Morita is missing his front wing. As he has a very big off. Wow.
Yeah, well, he's definitely got some serious damage to the car. He'll be wanting to pit stop and see if he can repair at least. Or, I think it'd be he's just going to drive anyway. He's
What
already
is
had
he
2
doing?
pit stops.
He needs to pit. It's dangerous to be driving without a front wing, particularly at this circuit.
Where he needs it, you can see how wide he's going. He's
and
just
he's
going
gone
to
into
pause.
the
There
wall
we
again.
go.
I wonder if we're going to see him retire. He goes backwards across the track and takes out a Ferrari.
That
this
is really poor driving from Morita.
Yeah. And he's retired.
Yeah, that would be a fair enough thing to do after that. A little bit silly there from the Racing Point driver. You should never ever back up across the track, even if you are out of control. You've got to try and control it enough so you don't go back on the track.
You need to hold the brakes as if you go off. Is what
when he was rolling backwards there, he should have at least held onto the wall with
or just
the car and tried to slow it down. Yeah, I mean, either way, but he'll learn from that one. But the 2 Ferraris are back up in their natural positions again, as Osprach and Gerasi are just using each other to get faster, it seems.
Well, not the real life natural pace of Ferrari.
Well, maybe not. Well, actually, interesting to say that yesterday, Charles Leclerc putting it in 4th, and I think Carlos Sainz was 6th or 7th. So like they are definitely back up in the top 10 cars again, especially for that track. But obviously, Bahrain isn't naturally the most amazing track for people to drive because of the surface. Not just that, as well, the wind speeds as well. So you do lose a little bit of downforce if you're going around certain corners, as the wind takes the air away from you pretty much. Osprach is actually losing a little bit of time there to Gerasi, as he's going a little bit slower through Sector 1 than he usually does. Miguel Angel, the only Racing Point in the race now, still sitting in 7th position. Jose's managed to get himself back up into his position.
Here, Rodriguez C and Jose 46 apparently haven't made a stop yet. Not sure whether I believe that graphic though, because I remember Jose 46 definitely coming into the pits at one point.
We literally saw him dive in for a pit stop, so
I think the graphics might need a refresh. See what happens.
But P. Rodriguez, I'm pretty sure he's made his stop, hasn't he, as well?
Looks like the graphics just don't like Mercedes. They're going, nope, Mercedes, you're too dominant. We're not going to let you win the race to most pit stops on the graphic.
You see, yellow in Sector 2 as a car has gone a little bit wide. And I do believe that, it was Baroni David who's had to slow down a little bit. He's actually slowed down quite a lot of cars. Jeff is trying to get past him. But Jeff just sails past. No need to fight that one there. Moises Carvalho in 9th position. Jeff is going to be hunting him down now. Baroni will want to stay within that second margin so he could stay with Jeff. I'm going to find out if Morita has spoken in the chat, so if you want to take over comms for a couple of minutes.
Yep. Jeff goes purple in the first sector. Looks like he's really trying to push now. 2/10. Yeah, he'll be looking to beat that Jose Lap time of a 1:19.5. What's it going to be from Jeff? He lost some time in the middle sector. It's a 1:19.7, so 0.2 off. He went purple in the first and third sectors, but lost half a second in the middle sector.
There's nothing from Marite at the moment in the chat about what actually happened, but I'm assuming there will be some brief words exchanged at the end of the session.
That will definitely be looked at by myself, Danny, and Offsprack, and a couple of others in the post-race investigations, the incident reports.
But right now, we're seeing some really nice driving here as Gerazi and Jose feel are just going for a little bit of a battle here. 0.4 away is Jose, so he could manage to get him on this straight line. Gerazi goes a little bit wide around the final corner in the DRS zone, but I'm pretty sure Gerazi's still got a little bit of engine to use here. He's got the engine loads. Oh, and going around the outside, he can't. Gerazi was very good in the defense there.
Miguel Angel now joining the fight. Just under half a second behind the other two.
Some really good racing here.
As Jose has now lost out to Jarosai, and Miguel Angel is making the most of it.
Jeff is having a little bit of a on-track battle on his own here. Some nice driving, as we actually see that the stops have updated now, as Rodriguez has definitely made his stop.
Not
But
sure
he's
about
back out in front.
Jose 46 though, still showing 0 stops, but I distinctly remember him making a stop. Maybe it's just an RF2 thing. Right, you're going to have to excuse me for 2 seconds. I'll leave this battle running and I'll be right back.
No problem, man. So we see Jose's having a little bit of a battle with Gerazi here. Gerazi's still 0.2 behind, as Jose's got past. Miguel Angel now pushing to try and get past Gerazi. Gerazi going back a bit. It's going to be a little bit close coming through Sector 2 and Sector 3. Some really nice driving here now.
And I'm
But
back.
Gerazi's made a mistake, and Miguel Angel's all over the back of him. We've got yellow in Sector 2. We're down into the 117s now for Rodriguez. I wonder what distance he is ahead of Acite at the moment.
It's 10 seconds. Gap between
Wow,
first and second.
That's crazy. Rodriguez is just flying away with his lead. We've got 8 laps left to go here at the Tuscan Grand Prix here with the LVF1 crew. Some nice driving now as Gerazi's coming through turn 1. He's lost out to Miguel Angel on that straight. Can he make it back? I do actually think, because he is running, I think, medium tyres, he is a slight bit off the pace now. His tyres are dying on him. But Ivan's having a little bit of a battle now with Acite, it seems. There's not much between them two. Ivan definitely lost out to Acite during the pit stops. So he'll be wanting to get back on to the second position of it.
That all about.
So I think that's the start of Sector 3.
Oh, it's a Munkasi again. Going
He's struggling
off.
in that corner today, it seems. He's down in 16th position at the moment. They're about a lap down now. Both McLarens and Zamunski are quite considerably back of the pack at the moment. "14 seconds out." I think Ivan's having a bit of a battle with Facite. He's managed to catch up. If we could jump on board with them. He's all over the tail now. He's going to be looking to get the DRS zone, the only DRS zone in Mugello, which is the start-finish straight. He's within a second, so he is going to get it. But whether he's close enough to make the pass, as RF2's slipstream isn't necessarily the best when you're a second behind. You have to be at least 0.5 to make a difference to your race. He's actually lost out a little bit on sector 3 there, as he's making the chase. And actually, was that Willie 31 that's tried to undertake himself, kind of unlap himself there. So he's positioned himself in between the leaders, which is very well done from him, I guess. He stopped that battle from going on.
Shouldn't really be doing that. That's kind of blue flags. Could really get out of the way.
He should really be getting out of the way, especially if it's a battle for the leads or a podium position. But obviously, we'll see the stewards after, see what they say. So Ivan's actually lost out a little bit of time there because of that incident. So that could be down to review at the end. Obviously, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to unlap yourself on other means, especially if there's a battle on track that's over a second or something that doesn't necessarily going to last. And as long as you don't impede any circuit, any of the circuit that they're using, I guess you could do it. But yeah, I don't know. There's not really too many battles going on in the middle of the field. I think Miguel Angel and Gerazi have got a little bit of a war going on between those guys. And Cabeza Speed, has joined in on that. He is only half a second behind. And there is Dom the Noodle. How are you doing, buddy? It's one of the guys that I work with on another league. Me and him are going to do some racing this afternoon.
Willie 31 goes very wide.
Yeah, that same corner, I think a lot of the drivers have been almost going off there before in Mugello. Yeah, also his best friend. Yes. You could say that, Noodle. Willie 31. Coming through nicely. Pumping the brakes going into the final corner. It's Razi. Oh, he's been overtaken by Cabeza Speed now. Very close battle. Jose Teo now.
I'm keeping an eye on the Cabeza Speed Jarosai battle and the Bernie Davide Jose Te battle. It's the one we're watching right now. Keeping an eye on those. As Cabeza Speed's been overtaken.
Down the inside.
Cabeza Speed was overtaken on the main straight by Jarosai.
Again, after they were having a little bit of a battle that last lap there, but Jose Teo as well he's going to have him on the outside. Oh, clips his front wing, I think, there, but he's okay. As he takes Baroni David down the start.
Oh, and they've crashed! They're off on the exit of turn 2.
And that was actually Zamunski that was actually in the way there, I'm assuming. Yeah, that was down to Zamunski. I think he actually took him out on purpose, I would assume. That'll be something to watch the pre-race replays, like post-race replays, actually.
Yep.
On the post-race show.
I have a whole list here of incidents.
We've got a few laps left now. Fantastic driving here as Ivan is now up into second place. He's managed to take a seat on the start-finish straight. But the leader so far, and has been for pretty much the whole race, except from 2 laps at the start, is P. Rodriguez. Yeah, all the cars are actually equal performance on this one. Pretty much all the cars are the same, it's just a reskin. Got Jose Teo now, just hunting down Jose 46, who is up into 9th position.
And he's gone around the outside of turn 1.
Very nicely done. He kept his foot in there. It was very nicely done from him. Yeah, it's actually a mod that we managed to get on this game from Race Department. So you can get quite a lot of mods on Race Department. Jose Teo now is still... He's quite a considerable distance away from the other cars now after that little battle. As Jeff starts to fly off. As we saw earlier, he was down at the bottom of the pack and he's worked his way up.
Now have a battle brewing for second place with Ivan and Asete.
Asete is going back at it, yeah. Asete is not actually happy at all that Ivan's went past him.
Jose goes purple in the first sector on that lap.
So Jose Teo has decided that he's found his pace now and wants to get back up the grid. He is also in clean air, so...
And he does a best lap time, 1:16.9. That's very fast.
Yeah, we'll have the stewards, they'll look at it at the end of the race, Nudo. Jose Teo, yeah, fastest lap there, wasn't it? He just managed to post. Very well done from him. He's
Which
definitely trying to get back in there.
There's been about 4 pile-ups. All of which we'll look at in the post-race show, so stick around after the race for that.
Yeah, we have a post-race show that lasts between 15 minutes to half an hour. We talked to a few of the drivers, and yeah, we just sit and chill out and watch back some of the main parts of the race.
This is a McLaren. I think he's trying to unlap himself.
Yes,
that's
there will be damage to the cars. We actually saw Moretti earlier. He's going to definitely be getting reviewed in the post-race interviews for a really nasty incident that he caused to himself and others, where he lost his front wing and decided he was going to try and go for another lap. So, yeah, we'll definitely review that whole thing, hopefully, in the post-race.
Well, Jose, I'm just looking at the timing here. The previous best lap of the race was a 1:17.577 by P. Rodriguez C. And then Jose with that lap, that purple lap so far, was a 1:16.9, so almost 6/10 faster. He's really pushing.
That's insane. Yeah, he's really pushing to catch up with Jeff, and obviously because he is in that clean air as well, he's going really fast.
Jeff is closing on Jarosite.
Yeah, we're going to see him as well, as he caused an incident to a lapping car just about 5-6 laps ago, I'm assuming. So this is the last lap now, as P. Rodriguez is going to be pushing to take the win. Jeff is really all over the back of Gerazi. He's lost quite a lot of positions now.
Jose goes purple in the middle sector again.
He is really pushing. It would be interesting to maybe catch him in the post-race interviews for those fastest laps that he's been posting.
Oh, but P. Rodriguez goes purple in the middle sector now.
So Rodriguez now, he's definitely slowed down, but that is Jeff now in front of Gerazi in the Ferrari. Jeff in the Williams definitely making a name for himself today. I think from me, he has to be my driver of the day.
As P. Rodriguez C comes across the line to win the Tuscany Grand Prix here at Mugello.
Fantastic race from him. He just led from the start. You know, that dominance that he showed in qualifying, it really showed through in the race there. Finishing 26 seconds ahead of second and third there. As they're still battling it out for the lead, for second and third.
Ivan
and
comes
Ivan
home.
is going to be down to the line here, but Ivan is going to take second here. And Asite in third.
We've got everyone slowing down, not quite sure what they're doing here.
They haven't even finished the race.
They
and
should
Moises
still be
has slowed
going.
down. I don't know what they were thinking there, but I do believe this is Willie 31. As Danny's in the pits.
They take what's his gun? He did a purple middle sector. And he goes even faster. 1:16.927.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And he's decided to end his race and slam it into the wall. I love it. But that's all the drivers near enough finished the race now.
Simon Cooksey still pushing to the end. 1 lap down.
Fantastic work from these drivers.
Not sure.
Willie 31.
Everyone. Oh, what's going on here?
So a couple of drivers that were on their slowdown lap, and there's still people finishing the race. And a little bit of a pile-up. I think we're going to have words with the stewards about that after the race. You may have been faster than these guys at the start of the race, but it doesn't mean you get in their way before they finish. I'm loving the emotes, Noodle. Fantastic.
Oh! And there's an Alfa Romeo in the wall.
I do believe that was Baroni. I know it wasn't. Yeah, it was Baroni who hit the wall there. But to be honest with you, the race is now over. So it doesn't really matter. We've got our top 10.
Is Willie 31
Willie 31.
finished? Miguel Angel, have they
that they're done.
finished? Miguel Angel,
don't know.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, here we go. Willie 31 is coming into the pits, and so is Miguel Angel, so that is the end of the race.
It's quite silly, the contact that we were getting throughout that race, but I'm sure the drivers will be, you know, looking at it.
Yep. As here we go, we're going to look at the session results. You want to take us through this?
Yep. So this rounds up today's session. In first place, we have P. Rodriguez in his Mercedes. In second, we have Ivan O. In third, we have Asite. In fourth, we have Osbrak. In fifth, we have Miguel Angel. In sixth, we have Cabeza Speed. In seventh, we have Jeff. In eighth, we have Gerazi. In ninth, we have Jose Teo, with fastest lap as well on him. In 10th, we have Jose 46. In 11th, we have Baroni David. In 12th, we have Mugen. In 13th, we have Moises Carvalho. In 14th, we have Danny. In 15th, we have Willie 31. In 16th, we have Zemunskisi. And unfortunately, 3 cars that didn't finish the race was Marete, Michael Rowland, and Carlos Fino. And that was concluding today's session here at the Tuscan Grand Prix at Mugello. We are now going to quickly go to an ad break to wait for all the other drivers to jump into the chat. And we'll get ready for our post-race show. So stick around and we'll be with you in a couple of minutes. Oh, I forgot you put that in. Hello and welcome back to the post-race show with myself, Andrew Gatton, and Charles Gaudet. We're going to be reviewing today's race here at the Tuscan Grand Prix Mugello. It's going to be a good one to watch over. We've got a few incidents during the race that we're going to review, and we're also going to speak to a few of the drivers and get their points of views from the race. We'll have a quick word actually with our first place winner at the moment. He will be coming into the chat just now. Hopefully we can unmute him and get him into the chat. There we go. Hello, welcome.
Come on.
Well done on that first place position today at Mugello. How do you feel?
I feel really good. It's a good position to continue the championship leader. But first of all, thanks for do the streaming.
Oh, you're very welcome, buddy. And I think as well, you had a very dominant start to the day, dominating the practice session and also the qualifying session. How did that make you feel going into the race?
Really good, really good. Have me a good form to form the first laps, but my start is was very bad, and Ibarra overtake me, and I stay behind him until get the DRS and pass him again.
Yeah, we definitely saw that, and I think as well as you had a little bit of a slower start, you definitely made up for it at the end of the race there. You were 26 seconds crossing the line there for the last time, ahead of second place. You know, that is something that a lot of drivers wish they could do here in Mugello because it's such a technical track and high speed corners. So I think you should be very happy with that, mate. I don't know if we got. I don't think you didn't have any contact with anybody during the race as well. I think you got off scot-free there, don't you think?
Repeat, please. I don't.
Sorry, you didn't have any contact with anyone throughout the race.
Oh no.
Yeah, you were very lucky there. As quite a lot of the guys at the back of the pack had some kind of incidents that could be a bit questionable, driving standards wise. But I think that's all we need to really ask you for today, unless Charles has got anything to ask.
No.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll let you go off and get something to eat now. Good racing, buddy.
Okay. Thanks.
You're very welcome. So that was P. Rodriguez, who was our race winner today at Mugello. So, Charles, a quick review of how he actually drove his car. Watching him coming through Sector 2 there, he was so confident, wasn't he? I think there's nothing that could deny him any chance of the win at all. I mean, you can see him chasing down Ivan there. Ivan was making a few small mistakes, and he was there mopping up his mess, it seemed, and very well done from him as well. Good driving. Yeah. Yeah, no, we'll get the next person in. He just needs to. Yeah, he should be able to Yeah, he just needs to unmute himself. There he is. He's unmuted himself now. How are you doing, buddy? Good race. Oh. Sorry, guys. This is just a small technical difficulty with a couple of the things in the channel. He's muted himself. And he's going to unmute himself, hopefully. Hello, Ivan.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, there we go. We can hear you now. So, Ivan, how did that race go from your perspective?
Yeah, I had a very good start. You overtook Pablo, and Then I had a couple of good laps, but he finally overtook me. He was much faster than us. So then I tried to manage the tires and I go to the end, you know.
Yeah, I think you done very well at the tire management as well to get second place. You and Asite had a very, very good battle. How did that kind of go from your perspective? Were you expecting it?
Yeah, I expected Aceite, Pablo, and me to be on the podium. So yeah, it was a nice battle. I had some problems with the lap cars. They didn't let me pass. Danny, for example, he was fighting. No, it was not Danny. It was a Haas, I think. And Danny overtook me on one, and I lost much time. You know.
Yeah, we saw that, and I think we definitely we're going to see if we could review those incidents here on the post race show. So if you wanted to tune in and you could see it from what we saw, then you could probably get a better understanding of what actually happened during the race. But I think as well, you done very well to manage your tires. You started on the mediums, didn't you? And you jump onto the hards.
Yeah, I had a very good qualifying. I tried to make the qualifying with mediums, and then I nearly made the pole position, but I had my last lap was a little bit bad. I had two tenths more to give on the lap time, but the pole position start, um, and the strategy was very good, and I'm happy with the race.
Yeah, I think you done very well. So I would like to say well done and congratulations on your podium.
Thank you very much.
So I think that is we've just got one more interview to go, and then we can review some of the incidents of today's racing. So if we could drag in our final racer of today.
Thanks.
And there we have Asite, who just needs to unmute himself, and we'll be ready to chat to him. Oh, he's in the waiting room. Just wait. He's deafened himself as well. We're just waiting for him to sort this out. We'll hopefully be having this a little bit more streamlined for next week. So as you can actually see there, we've actually got just about 10 races or so left to go of the calendar. There's 9 races left of our kind of weekends here. Obviously, we had the Tuscan Grand Prix today, and we have the Russian Grand Prix next week at Sochi. And then we're at the Nürburgring for the German Grand Prix on the 18th of April. We're at Portugal at Portimao for the 25th of April. Oh, and he's here. I don't have to stall time anymore. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm fine. Very good race for my part.
Yeah.
Third position is a very, very good result.
Oh, I don't know.
Mugello. So
Yeah. That was, from our view, I think
That
you had
was,
a very good battle with Ivan.
That was
And,
bad. Like,
yeah,
even
I
by
think,
my standards, I just made
it lasted
stupid
throughout the whole race, and it gave us something to watch. So very well done on that. So, how did you feel about the lapped cars as well? There was quite a few lapped cars that you guys had to deal with. How did you feel?
for my part, Danny don't molested me. So for my part, Danny was lapped well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Ivan have had more problems, but in my case, it was okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. We're going to definitely review through some of the lapped car incidents during the race. On this little post race show. So if you want to jump into the Twitch and watch that, and you can see it from our perspective what we saw. But yeah, I think you had a very strong start. You towed Rodriguez all the way up the line and managed to get him through turn. You managed to get behind Ivan on about lap 6, and you were just battling from about lap 6 onwards, and I think that was really well done from you. Have you got anything you would like to say about the race?
Yeah, no, the first lap of the race, I did try to save my tires, but there was a lot of tire wear in this race,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to stop very in the only in the lap 10, 11, and my calculations was to stop during the laps 15. So these 3 laps, I these 3 laps with less tires was the case to Ivan overtook me to the final laps.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Okay.
the problem.
I think that was, a very good calculation as such. I mean, the fact that you still managed to get ahead and hold your position in third throughout the race, I think that was still very well done from you. And I think the other weekends that I've watched and commentated, you've done very well to maintain your pace. So you should be very happy with that.
Yeah, of course. And we will see in Russia next week.
Yeah, we'll see you in Sochi. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us for the post-race interviews.
Okay, thank you.
So that was our third place position of Asite. So we're going to have a look, hopefully, to get into a couple of the incidents, maybe with some of the lapped cars during the race. We had a few incidents that we would like to review, but I think we're probably not going to get time to review all of them. But if we can get 2 of them, we should be all right. The good thing about this race was we had quite a lot of action, even if it wasn't at the front of the pack. The back of the pack had a fair amount of pushing and shoving, which, I mean, is fair enough, but we could possibly be doing with a stern talking to some of the drivers about holding and giving up position if they're lapped and not trying to take other people out. So I think it was Moretti would be an interesting one to review, especially for a couple of the guys that missed it. Right, okay. Yeah, turn 1. It was lap 1, turn 1. We had a bit of a spin round, and then it continued on to the rundown. I think it was Gerasi hit one of the Williams off. I think it might have been Jeff. If we view it from Jeff's point of view, we might see it. So he got spun out on turn 1, I'm pretty sure. So that's our first kind of incident. Are you sure this is the race and not just quali? Yeah, this is the race. Okay, we'll watch it from here. Because it'd be quite interesting to find out how and where he got hit off. So he goes down the middle of the line here. Somebody blows their engine pretty much off the line. Yeah, that was serious. Was it? Are you sure that wasn't? He done a barrel roll. And he still managed to finish the race. Jesus Christ! Mugen. So he gets tapped. Can we maybe jump on board with him and see what actually happened? Because be interesting to see if he got cut off or not. Yeah, he got chipped from behind. So who was hitting him from behind there? Was that Carlos Fino that hit him from behind? So he got chucked into the wall, but I think he got off of it scot-free because he continued on after flipping around like that in a real F1. You know, a bit shaken up. So yeah, so I think we actually view from this angle. We'll see. It was him, yeah, but he got hit by the Haas. The Haas driver crossed in front of Carlos Fino and tapped him. You can see, left him with no room. Yeah, he kind of leaves him with no room there at all. Squeezes unnecessarily there. You know, he had a line through there, and they shouldn't have been free wide at that point anyway, but they wanted to be. Yeah, he gets tapped. I think he went across the line and then smacked into him, and he just manages to continue going. Interesting to see the left.
I just noticed I've been muted on the stream the entire time. Oof.
Lol. He's been muted on the stream and he's been talking, but yeah, it does look like the Haas has decided to
No, Danny,
roll in, and
my voice was on during the race. I just turned it off and forgot to turn it back on before the post-race interviews. Anyway,
so we've actually got Jeff and Miguel Angel waiting in the waiting room if they want to have a chat.
Yep. Let's
'Cause
bring.
we can have a chat with Jeff.
Yeah, let's bring Jeff in first.
Hello there,
Hello,
Jeff. How are you
Jeff.
getting on, buddy?
Doing all right. How about you guys?
Ugh, we're doing all right, yeah. We want to talk about that lap 1 incident if you've got time. What happened?
So basically, it wasn't lap 1. I saw you went all the way back to the start. Basically, my game puts me on the formation lap after everybody else, so I was like a minute behind on the formation lap. That's why you saw me running around on my own. But otherwise, the first lap was pretty clean for the guys in front of me, at least. I know there was a big wreck behind.
Yeah. There's
Okay,
a
yeah.
car barrel rolling. It was your teammate, the other Williams.
Yeah, just
And
barrel
upside
rolled
down.
somehow. Yeah, because we thought that you would have seen a little bit of that because you were kind of really near him at the start. But if you didn't see it, that's fair enough. But yeah, a few of the drivers definitely should be getting reviewed for some nasty driving today around Mugello. Did you see anything that you could have talked about?
Yeah, I was involved in the Moretta incident where he came back on track. I think it was like on lap 6 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, look at
he-
that. It was 16, wasn't it? I have in my notes.
Was that the
It
one where
was-
he cuts off he goes off and then comes back on, or was it the one where he was reversing back onto the track?
No, that was where he basically he and Jose had kind of, I don't know if they got together.
Oh, yeah,
maybe,
I remember
they
that
didn't
one.
Yeah, here we
have
go.
right.
Here we go.
Yeah.
It's here.
No,
Any
it's
minute
not.
now.
It was earlier.
It's the next one up. I think it's the next lap. But he ends up.
Here we go. He loses his front wing here.
Taps
Yeah.
him.
Yeah, there we go. He loses front wing there.
So this is the second incident. This one's, you need to watch this one because he actually hampers quite a lot of position here.
I'll just fast forward it a bit.
So he doesn't come into the pits.
With no front
Well,
wing.
So,
Yep.
There's a bit of an issue with the game where the front wing will be gone graphically, but sometimes it will still be on the car as far as like the handling is concerned. So that might be what's going on. I can't tell how fast he's going right now, if he's fully up to pace or not.
So he
he's
managed
doing
to
180, 190, 200 in kilometers an hour.
But it was the
Easily
next lap
300.
he done damage to himself. I think it was later on in the race. He goes into the pits, gets himself. He doesn't go into the pits to
Yeah, here we
repair.
go. What's this?
Yeah, look.
What happens here?
So he has a bit of an incident. I think this is where he loses his front wing again. But he does some damage to himself, and then I'm pretty sure what happens is he goes on turn 1 and completely loses it, and then nearly takes out one of the Ferraris, and they have
I think
to
it was
avoid him.
turn 2, actually. Or the bit
Was
going
it
up the
turn 2?
hill. Turn 2 and
Yeah,
3.
yeah,
Yeah, here we go.
yeah. Look, this is what happens here, and look, he just doesn't hit the brakes at all. He just assumes that he's out. So at this point, yeah, his front ring was definitely gone in the game there because he was the same speed as last time, same position, and doesn't
if
even
I
hit the
go-
brakes.
I go on board with
And
that
rolls.
Ferrari. Not
With
sure which
Girardi.
one it is. Girardi. Okay. 1 second. There we
So
go.
the thing is, so he comes up the hill, sees him on the track, and has to.
Oh, it's the other Ferrari. Okay.
Would it? Yeah. So it would have been Offsprack then.
Yeah.
I would have thought it was Girardi because I think Girardi was behind Offsprack at that point. But RF2 and its fantastic physics, I guess. So yeah, seeing from behind, he goes right off, and he scrapes the wall to avoid hitting Moretti.
Yeah, when you see a car coming across like that, you really don't have any choice. You can either take your chance by going either way. In this case, he decided going outside was the safer option.
Yeah, if he managed to save himself pretty much from that angle. So we actually watch on board again. So yeah, he just knew that he wasn't gonna get through there, so he had to go wide. I mean, it was a very good decision making for him there.
But if we go back, why is what I'm trying to understand. Go here. Why was he not the racing point? Why was he not holding his brakes there? Because if he just stomped on his brakes, he would have stopped well before he went on track.
Yeah, I think he either was trying to take somebody out, or I mean, he's an experienced driver. He's been here for a while. I mean, it might be the case he was trying to reach for the escape button or whatever. I don't know if he continued on in the race.
He did. He did for a little bit, didn't he? Didn't he drive, or did he stop? I can't remember, but he did. I'm pretty sure that was like near enough the end of his race anyway. And thanks for the raid, Zank Drives, with 3 raiders. Nice to see you, buddy. As we're just talking through some of the incidents that happened during the race here at the Tuscan Grand Prix. Yep, Zamonkasi jumping in and having a little view of the race so far. So, talking about the incidents as well, do we have one more incident to review?
There's loads more. But I think we're going to have to leave it there with you, Jeff, so we can get through
we've got a few
the
guys.
other couple of guys. That's okay.
Yep.
Nice speaking to you, buddy. See you next week.
Great race.
You too.
Well, not next week, the week after, but yeah.
Right.
So
Cool.
if we can
And let's
get
bring
Miguel Angel.
Angel in first.
Hey, buddy, you just need to unmute yourself and then we're ready to chat. I'm just waiting for him to unmute himself and then he's ready.
Not server muted, so.
No, he's just, I think he's waiting. I think he wasn't expecting us to pull him in so early. Oh, there he is.
There we
Hello,
go.
man.
Hello, guys. I wasn't
Hello.
expecting you.
Yeah.
It's all right. Don't worry about it.
I should have told you.
So we're going to have a little interview with you just now about your race. How did you think it went from your angle?
Well, I think I'm happy with the result because we managed to save up the tires in the beginning. The soft ones did last longer than we thought.
Yeah, that was a mega stint right there.
10 laps. Thank you. And yeah, I wasn't expecting it either. I was thinking about 6-7 laps, but in the end it worked out. And yeah, the second stint we did it with the hard tires. I had a little bit of problems with them because in the end I had to fight for position with Jarasai.
Yeah, you
And
had
yeah,
quite a good
there
battle with him.
I had to eat up a little bit of the tires. And yeah, in the end I had some mistakes, some small mistakes where I thought I would crush. Actually, I don't remember. It was lap 27. If you find it, I think I lost the car a little bit.
I remember
yeah.
seeing it. Yeah, you had a few little off tracks.
Yes. And yeah, I almost thought it was the end for me. But well, it worked out. I'm also very happy to not have been caught in the incident into turn 1. I saw a flying Williams behind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereabouts was that moment? Was it here? Sector 2 on lap 27?
Could be. I don't really remember.
Was lap 27, right?
It was. I'm almost certain it was lap 27.
Okay.
It was either that or 26 or something. Have you seen 26 for?
Maybe.
Because we saw, I definitely was like watching as there was like a sector 2 flag or something went up then, just a few laps before the end, and I was like, shoot, he's lost it. I instantly thought that it was going to be the other racing point, like yourself, or if it was going to be one of the other cars. But you definitely done well to have Jiraiya away from you. Like, you definitely done a good job fighting him off. He started going down the order.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, yeah.
I think it was this.
Oh yeah. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nearly lost it there.
Yeah, that was scary. But well, it worked out in the end.
Yeah, no, it definitely did for you as well. Good position at the end for you, and the fact that you managed to hold off Jiraiya, who, yes, he was going back in the order, but it was still, a very competitive driver in that Ferrari. You should be very proud of that.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we saved a lot of fuel in the beginning. I think for the first 20 laps or so, and when I saw I needed to push a little bit to keep Jarasai off, then we could use mode 3, mode 4, and stay ahead of him.
Yeah, you definitely had it. Your first stint really paid off for you as well on those softs, and I think you should be very happy with that. And yeah, we can't wait to see you in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you very much.
For the Russian Grand Prix.
Thanks for having me, and congratulations on the streaming.
Yeah, it's all right. You're welcome anytime.
Okay, goodbye, guys. See you.
See you later.
Right.
That was Miguel Angel driving the Racing Point there, and we've got one more person to chat to, and that is the race organizer, Danny01. We'll just drag him in now. Welcome to the comms box, Danny.
Hi.
So, how did your race go from your point of view?
Well, I think really bad.
You had a crash on lap 3 or 4, I think.
I look the first accident just behind me, but it really didn't affect me. And then I think was in the first lap. Someone has spin in front of me, and I couldn't do anything to avoid the accident.
Yeah, we saw that, and we were a little bit shaken up by it as well, because there's a few drivers there in the grid that
here we go. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was nothing you can do. I mean, you were trying to go too wide for sector 2 there. It's difficult to do. I predicted it, that we were going to see a few incidents with people trying to go like 2-3 wide round there, and it's just not good, because the tires are under so much load that if you like let off just a tiny bit from your steering lock, you're just losing the tires, and obviously your tires weren't warm enough to avoid anything like that. So that was very unfortunate for you. You made up a few positions, and that then had to lose them again because of that incident. But yeah.
Yeah, I also have the problem on qualifying that
Yeah.
I was with default setup. I didn't realize until warm up. So yeah, that was a problem because I started on the last position.
We were a little bit. I think I remember commenting on the stream, if you were to watch it back, I was like, "What is Danny doing? Why is he on hard tires for quali?" And obviously you've
Yeah,
answered
but
it there.
yeah, I wanted to start with hard tires because, well, I wanted to do 2 stops
Mhm.
with hard, and soft, but finally I tried to do 1 stop with hard, soft, but the soft tires were really, really high tire wear, so I had to stop for a second time to put the medium tires for the last stint of the race.
Yeah, no, I think you definitely had a good run down to the end of the race, though. You didn't really get caught up in too much. We were going to talk about you being a little bit of a back marker to the front end runners. They were a couple of the drivers were saying that you kind of overcut your position on them while they were battling, and they were a little bit worried as to if you were going to take them out or not. But yeah, talk us through that.
Yeah, you mean with the fight between Ivan and
Yeah,
Aceite?
and the state day, yeah.
Yeah, I was the first laps. I was trying to not push a lot, just saving tires and fuel. So in the last laps, I was really fast. I was with better tires than them and better speed because I was with engine boost at 5. So that's why I overtake him because I was faster than them, I think. And well, just when I saw that I didn't I couldn't catch any other driver, I just let him go again
Mhm.
and
I
stay
think
behind them.
you definitely, you managed to maintain your position as a blue flag runner there, and you didn't really get in the way after that, which is good. A few drivers though that we would definitely need to have a look at after the race. Not naming names, but a couple of them just really a little bit too kind of in the way. Moretti had a bit of an incident and he rolled backwards onto the track again. I think you saw that in the stream. Um, he's obviously a very experienced driver, and we just weren't expecting to see him do that. So I don't know what actually happened there. There could have been there's a couple of other things that we saw. Lap 1, that Williams flying. 2 Haas cars seem to be involved in that one, but Carlos Fino was left with no space. We reviewed that, and he couldn't really go anywhere. So his position in that fight was neutral. He didn't have any kind of turn in or anything on that. So it was the cars that were next to him that caused the incident. But I'm not too sure as to what actually happened as such, race wise. And for him, we definitely saw the Williams cars. They made a good recovery. So they definitely managed to make a full recovery from that incident. I do believe it was Mugen. It was Mugen that went flying.
Yeah.
On lap 1. So yeah, do some pretty good racing today. I think both Williams cars were going to do some good racing. So yeah, I think for all that kind of stuff that we've talked about now, I think that's all we have time for in today's session of the post-race show with myself, Andrew Gatton, and Charles Gaudet. And hopefully, if Charles is willing, if he's got anything left to say.
I was just running through my list of incidents. Couldn't find any of them. Let's have a look. There was a big pile up on the cooldown lap, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'll watch that. Yeah, it was here. Up ahead as we go into turn 4.
Because Willie 31, I think, at this point is still under green flag and still racing, whereas everyone else has finished the race.
And the 2 Ferraris just blocked him and then tried to almost... I don't know if they just realised who it was that was still racing, but yeah, that was a little bit silly.
Then there was a big pile up at the end, just after the line on the main straight.
Like a few drivers that we knew that were that still had some laps to go as well, and they somehow still finished the race. Like, don't know. I was a bit confused with that, but anyway, I think that's all we have time for today on the post-race show. If you would like to see any more of this, feel free to follow the channel, and we'll be live again in 2 weeks' time for the Sochi Autodrome's Russian Grand Prix. For myself, Andrew Gattin, and Charles Gidday. Charles, have you got anything left to say?
No, I'm all good. So I think we're going to end it here, and we'll see you guys next. No, not next week. The week after next, on the 11th of April at 11 a.m. GMT for the Russian Grand Prix. See you all next time.
Have a good one, guys. Stay safe.